Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. We love to really dissect things around here.
Yeah, get our hands dirty.
Exactly, and today we're going under the hood, or I guess under the car, to help you ace that tire fitter interview.
Ooh, I like that.
We've got all our best tools lined up, sample interview questions, career insights from the field, and even some tips on how to use RoleCatcher's AI to really fine-tune your answers.
We're going to make sure you roll into that interview confident and ready to impress.
So let's get started, shall we?
Uh,
First up, a question you're pretty much guaranteed to hear. What experience do you have in tire fitting?
the classic opener. It's the interviewer's way of getting a feel for, where you're at.
Like checking your tire pressure before a long road trip.
Exactly. Now, the career guide, Tyre Fitter, we've got, breaks down the different roles and responsibilities, for entry-level junior and senior tire fitters.
Now, this is where your homework comes in, right?
Yeah.
You got to tailor your answer to the specific job you're going for.
Absolutely. If you're fresh out of mechanic school, you're not going to have the same experience as someone who's been running a shop for 10 years.
So if I'm applying for an entry-level position, I might talk about, my experience changing tires,
Yeah.
maybe doing some basic repairs.
Right. Things like mounting, balance, patching punctures.
But if I'm aiming for that senior role,
Mm.
I want to showcase, my expertise in more advanced stuff like wheel alignments, TPMS diagnostics.
That's it. And don't forget those soft skills too. Customer service, teamwork, all that good stuff.
Now, honesty is crucial here, right? No need to inflate your experience.
Oh, definitely. The interviewer will see right through that. Plus, it's always better to be upfront and, focus on what you're eager to learn.
Now, what about those folks who are maybe just starting out, don't have a ton of direct experience yet?
Mm-hmm.
How do you answer that question without feeling like you're spinning your wheels?
That's when you play up those transferable skills. Did you work on your own car in high school? Help a friend change a flat?
Even volunteering at a garage or helping out at a family member's auto shop.
All of that counts. It shows you've got that mechanical aptitude and, more importantly, the willingness to learn.
And the career guide even mentions apprenticeships or automotive repair programs as great ways to, get your foot in the door.
Exactly. It shows initiative and a real passion for the work, which honestly can be just as valuable as years of experience in this field.
Okay, so we've tackled the experience question.
Okay.
But let's say the interviewer wants to dig a little deeper and asks, can you walk me through the process of changing a tire?
Okay. Now we're getting into the nitty-gritty. This is where you really demonstrate your knowledge and, your attention to detail.
Because it's not just about slapping on a new tire and calling it a day,
Right?
right? Safety's a huge factor.
Absolutely. You got to show the interviewer that you understand the steps involved and that you prioritize safety every step of the way.
So let's break it down. You've got your car safely secured on the jack stands.
Right. And you've loosened the lug nuts before lifting the car.
Of course. Then you remove the flat tire mount, the new one.
Making sure it's seated properly on the hub.
Tighten those lug nuts in a star pattern.
Crucial for even distribution of pressure.
Lower the car, and then give those lug nuts a final torque.
Don't forget to check the tire pressure too.
Right. Now, that's just a basic overview.
Yeah.
And you might need to adjust your answer depending on, the specifics of the job you're applying for.
Like if they're looking for someone with experience in run flat tires or, a particular brand of tire changing equipment.
And this is where RoleCatcher can really help you tailor your response. You can practice your answer to this question, and the AI will analyze it, give you feedback.
It'll tell you if you've provided enough detail, if there's anything you might want to clarify. It's like having a virtual coach in your pocket.
So you walk into that interview feeling prepared and confident.
Now, let's say the interviewer throws a curveball and asks, what are some common mistakes people make when changing a tire?
Ooh, okay. This one's testing your problem-solving skills and your knowledge of potential hazards.
You could mention things like not properly securing the car, forgetting to loosen those lug nuts before jacking it up.
Over-tightening or under-tightening the lug nuts, using the wrong type of jack for the vehicle.
All those little details that can make a big difference in terms of safety and the longevity of the tire.
And by highlighting those common mistakes, you're showing the interviewer that you're not just following steps, you're thinking critically about the process.
You're anticipating potential problems and taking steps to prevent them.
Which is exactly the kind of tire fitter any shop would want on their team.
Now, let's say the interviewer is really trying to gauge your expertise and asks, what's the difference between a radial tire and a bias ply tire?
All right. Now we're getting into the technical stuff. This is where you get to show off your knowledge of tire construction and performance.
This question is all about understanding how those different constructions affect a vehicle's handling fuel efficiency, even ride comfort.
So with a radial tire, The cords run perpendicular to the direction of travel.
which gives them a more flexible sidewall and better grip on the road,
And bias ply tires, the cords run diagonally across the tire.
which makes them stiffer with a tougher tread, but can lead to a harsher ride.
Now, you don't need to go into a full-blown engineering lecture.
But showcasing that you understand the basic differences between these tire types shows you've got a solid foundation of knowledge.
And again, RoleCatcher can help you practice your answer to these more technical questions.
You can even compare your response to answers from other candidates. See what works, what doesn't. It's like having a peek into the minds of successful tire fitters.
Giving you that extra edge in the interview.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We've talked about showcasing your experience, highlighting those transferable skills.
We've delved into the step-by-step process of changing a tire, even touched on some of the technical aspects.
And throughout it all, we've emphasized the importance of safety, attention to detail, and that passion for the craft.
Because at the end of the day, that's what's going to make you stand out as a candidate.
Now we know there's a lot more to cover.
Oh,
So stay tuned, because in our next segment,
we're going to dive into some of the more challenging interview questions.
the ones that really test your problem-solving skills, your customer service abilities.
And we'll give you some tips on how to handle those tricky situations with confidence and grace.
See you then. Okay, so we're back, ready to tackle some more of those interview questions that might pop up during your tire fitter interview.
And trust me, these next few, they're designed to see how you handle those trickier situations. You know, the ones that test your people skills, your problem-solving abilities.
The stuff that really sets apart a good tire fitter from a great one.
Exactly. So buckle up, because we're about to get into the nitty-gritty.
All right, let's start with this one. How do you ensure the correct tire pressure is maintained?
This one's all about safety and, being a trusted advisor to your customers.
Because it's not just about knowing how to use a pressure gauge.
Right. No way. You got to understand the why behind it. The impact that tire pressure has on everything from handling to fuel efficiency.
And the career guide.
Yeah.
Tire fitter really emphasizes that, making sure you're not just inflating to some arbitrary number.
You got to check those manufacturer recommendations. Every vehicle's different. Every tire's different.
So you got to be able to explain all that to the customer clearly and concisely.
Right. Like imagine someone comes in with a brand new sports car. You're not going to inflate those high-performance tires to the same pressure as you would a family sedan.
That's a great point. You got to know where to find that information and how to relay it to the customer in a way that makes sense.
And don't forget about the importance of regular checks. Recommending that customers check their tire pressure at least once a month.
Especially when the seasons change, temperature fluctuations can really affect tire pressure.
Oh, absolutely. And this is where you can impress the interviewer by mentioning those newer technologies like TPMS, tire pressure monitoring systems.
Because those systems are becoming increasingly common in vehicles.
Right. And they can alert drivers to low pressure in real time, helping to prevent accidents.
So showing that you're up to date on those advancements is a big plus.
Now let's say the interviewer wants to dig a little deeper and asks, what are some of the risks associated with incorrect tire pressure?
Okay, so now they're really testing your knowledge of the consequences.
Yeah.
What can happen if those tires aren't properly inflated?
This is where you can shine by talking about things like, increased risk of blowouts, reduced fuel efficiency.
Uneven tire wear, which can affect handling and even lead to premature tire replacement.
And don't forget the safety aspect. Incorrect tire pressure can seriously compromise a vehicle's stability and braking performance.
Right, so you got to make sure you're hitting all those points, demonstrating a deep understanding of the importance of proper tire pressure.
And here's a tip. Use real-world examples to illustrate your points. Maybe you've encountered a situation where a customer had a near miss because of underinflated tires.
Or maybe you've seen the effects of uneven wear firsthand.
Those kinds of anecdotes can really bring your answers to life and show the interviewer that you're not just reciting facts, you've actually got experience in this area.
Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about something that every tire fitter has to deal with at some point: difficult customers.
Ah, yes. The folks who test your patience, your communication skills, your ability to stay calm under pressure.
Because, let's face it, not everyone's going to be a walk in the park.
Nope. You're going to encounter those who are demanding, argumentative, maybe even downright rude.
So the interviewer might ask something like, how do you handle a difficult customer? Or, tell me about a time you had to deal with a challenging situation with a customer.
These are those classic behavioral interview questions. They want to see how you react under pressure, how you problem solve.
And the career guide. Tyre Fitter offers some great advice on this, emphasizing the importance of staying calm, professional.
And always trying to find a solution that benefits both the customer and the business.
Right. It's about striking that balance between empathy and, standing your ground when necessary.
Exactly. Like, let's say a customer comes in insisting that their tire is flat, but when you check it, the pressure's fine.
How do you approach that situation?
Well, first, you got to validate their concerns. Let them know that you understand their frustration.
Right. Don't just dismiss them or make them feel like they're being unreasonable.
Exactly. Then you walk them through the process of how you check the pressure, show them the reading on the gauge.
Maybe even offer to double check just to put their mind at ease.
And if they're still not convinced, you can suggest a test drive together. See if they can feel any difference.
It's all about building trust and showing that you're taking their concerns seriously.
Now, what if the customer is demanding a discount that doesn't exist or, insisting on a service that, their vehicle doesn't need?
Okay, those are tough ones because you don't want to lose a customer, but you also can't just cave to every demand.
Right. In those situations, you got to be firm, but fair. Explain the company's policies clearly and calmly.
And maybe offer an alternative solution. If they're looking for a deal, maybe there's a different service package they'd qualify for.
Or if they're concerned about a specific issue, maybe you can offer a free inspection to put their mind at ease.
It's all about finding that win-win situation.
And remember, sometimes you just can't please everyone, no matter how hard you try.
If a customer is being truly unreasonable or disrespectful, you have the right to stand your ground and protect yourself and the business.
That's a good point. You don't have to tolerate abuse just to make a sale.
Now, these customer service scenarios, they can be tough to navigate in the moment.
And that's where practicing your answers can really make a difference.
And of course, RoleCatcher can be a huge help here.
You can use the platform to simulate those challenging interactions, get feedback on your tone of voice, your body language.
It's like having a dress rehearsal before the big show.
Exactly. So you can walk into that interview feeling prepared to handle any curveball they throw your way.
Now let's move on to another key aspect of the Tyre Fitter role, teamwork.
Because let's be real, you're not going to be working in a silo.
You're going to be part of a team collaborating with other technicians, mechanics, service advisors.
And the interviewer's going to want to know that you can play nice with others.
So they might ask something like, tell me about a time you had to work as part of a team to solve a challenging problem. Or, how do you handle disagreements with colleagues?
These are all about gauging your communication skills, your conflict resolution abilities, your overall team spirit.
And the key here is to showcase situations where you've demonstrated those skills successfully.
Maybe you had to work with a teammate who had a different approach to a task.
Or maybe you had to troubleshoot a complex problem as a group.
Whatever the scenario, focus on how you communicated, effectively listened to your colleagues' perspectives, and contributed to a positive outcome.
And don't be afraid to highlight your strengths. If you're a natural leader, talk about how you help to motivate and guide the team.
Or if you're a great listener, talk about how you help to mediate conflicts and find common ground.
The important thing is to demonstrate that you understand the value of teamwork and that you're willing to contribute to a positive and productive work environment.
Because at the end of the day, a successful tire shop relies on everyone working together seamlessly.
Absolutely. Now, we've covered a lot of ground in this segment.
We've tackled those tricky questions about tire pressure, customer service, teamwork.
And we've emphasized the importance of staying calm, professional, and always striving for those win-win solutions.
But there's still more to come.
In our final segment, we're going to dive into some of those big picture questions, the ones that really test your knowledge of the industry.
And we'll give you some final tips on how to use RoleCatcher to really fine-tune your answers and ace that interview.
So stick around. We'll be right back after a quick break. And we're back for the final stretch of our Tyre Fitter interview prep.
We've covered a lot of ground, from those basic experience questions to those trickier scenarios involving, difficult customers and teamwork.
But now it's time to shift gears a bit and really show those interviewers that you're not just a tire changer.
You're a true tire enthusiast.
Someone who's passionate about the industry and, staying ahead of the curve.
Exactly. So let's dive into some of those big picture questions that might come up.
The ones that really test your knowledge of, the trends, the challenges, the future of the tire industry.
All right, so here's a common one. What are some of the biggest challenges facing the tire industry today?
Ooh, this one's all about showing that you're not just focused on the nuts and bolts. You're thinking about the bigger picture.
You're aware of the forces that are shaping the industry, the things that keep tire professionals up at night.
So what are some things that come to mind?
Well, one of the biggest challenges is definitely the increasing complexity of modern vehicles.
Right. All those advanced driver assistance systems, the electronic sensors, the specialized tire pressure monitoring systems,
That's a lot to keep up with.
and it requires a whole new level of technical expertise.
Exactly. Another challenge is the growing demand for eco-friendly tires.
Yeah. With concerns about climate change and sustainability, customers are looking for tires that are, fuel efficient, made from sustainable materials.
And tire manufacturers are constantly innovating, trying to meet those demands.
Which is great for the environment, but also means that tire fitters need to stay up to date on all those new technologies and materials.
Absolutely. And then there's the impact of online tire sales.
Ah, yes. The rise of e-commerce has definitely shaken things up in the industry.
It's made it easier than ever for customers to, compare prices, shop around.
Which means that traditional brick-and-mortar shops have to find ways to, stay competitive, offer added value.
Right. Things like exceptional customer service, personalized recommendations, expert advice.
So when you're answering this question about challenges, you want to touch on those key points.
Show that you're aware of how those factors are impacting the industry, and you know how tire fitters can adapt and thrive in this changing landscape.
Now, another question you might get is, what are some of the latest advancements in tire technology?
Ooh, okay. Now we're getting into the exciting stuff. This is where you get to showcase your passion for the field. Those cutting-edge innovations that are really pushing the boundaries.
So what are some things that are really catching your eye?
Well, one area that's really evolving is run-flat tire technology.
Yeah, those tires that allow you to keep driving even after a puncture.
Exactly. They're becoming increasingly sophisticated, offering better performance and, longer driving ranges after a flat.
Which is a huge safety advantage.
Absolutely. Another area that's seeing a lot of innovation is self-sealing tires.
Oh, yeah. Those tires that can actually repair themselves from small punctures.
It's like magic.
Right.
A special sealant inside the tire automatically plugs up any holes.
Reducing the risk of flats and, those inconvenient roadside repairs.
And then there's all the advancements in tire pressure monitoring systems.
Those TPMS systems are becoming more and more sophisticated,
providing real-time data on tire pressure, temperature, even wear patterns.
which helps to improve safety, fuel efficiency, and tire longevity.
So by mentioning these specific advancements, you're showing the interviewer that you're genuinely interested in the field and that you're staying abreast of the latest innovations.
Now let's talk about something that's crucial for any successful tire fitter: continuous learning.
Because the tire industry is constantly evolving, new technologies are emerging, new techniques are being developed.
So how do you, as a tire fitter, make sure you're staying ahead of the curve?
Well, one of the best ways is to pursue certifications.
Right. There are all sorts of industry-recognized certifications that demonstrate your expertise in specific areas.
Things like wheel alignment, TPMS diagnostics, tire repair.
Earning those certifications shows potential employers that you're committed to professional development and that you've got the skills to back it up.
Another great way to stay up to date is to attend industry conferences and workshops.
Those events offer a chance to, network with other professionals, learn from experts, get hands-on training with new equipment.
And don't forget about online resources. There are tons of websites, forums, online courses that provide valuable information and insights.
So you got to be proactive in your learning.
Mm-hmm.
Seek out those opportunities to expand your knowledge and hone your skills.
Because the more you know, the more valuable you are as a tire fitter.
Now, throughout this deep dive, we've talked a lot about how RoleCatcher can help you prepare for your tire fitter interview.
And it really is an invaluable tool. It's got that massive database of interview questions specific to this role.
And the AI can analyze your answers, give you feedback, help you tailor your responses to specific companies and positions.
It's like having a personalized interview coach right there in your pocket.
But remember, RoleCatcher is just one piece of the puzzle.
You still need to put in the work, research the companies, practice your answers, showcase your passion.
Because at the end of the day, it's your skills, your knowledge, your enthusiasm that's going to land you that job.
So go out there, rock that interview, and get ready to roll into your new career as a tire fitter.
We're rooting for you. And remember, if you hit a snag or have any questions along the way,
don't hesitate to reach out. We're always here to help.
That's it for today's deep dive. We hope you found it helpful and informative.
Best of luck with your interview prep.
Until next time, happy tire trails.